Hello, wonderful friends of my Wonder Tips channel. Unicorn CEO, life coach in 10x money business and personal development niche welcomes under intercultural things one of my very good friend from Singapore. He is none other than Uma KA. Uma, I would welcome you with all my viewers on this channel. And then this intercultural aspects will be floating to around 3.5 million people on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. So I welcome you on my channel. Wonderful to have you here. And it is God's wish that we are together. So now we'll be discussing about Singapore versus India, our intercultural things. So give your introduction also to my viewers,
Yeah.
please.
Thank you, Mr. Chaudhary, for this opportunity to be on your podcast. So my name is Umamaheswar. People call me as Uma in the professional circle.
Right.
And I'm currently living in Singapore and I have my own consulting business after having worked in different multinational companies for close to 25 years, right, in India, in US, as well as in Singapore and Malaysia. I decided to start this company in 2018. It's called True North Solutions, where we help B2B clients to improve their end-to-end business processes, turn around their P&Ls and, lead people into great strength as they go forward in their business. So that's essentially to give you a broad overview of what we do from True North Solution standpoint. So that's my introduction, Mr. Chowdhury.
Wonderful, Uma. You are doing a wonderful job because in this life, what I am doing, I am giving comfort and solving the pain points of my people. And what you are doing, same way, but in another frame, you are doing the same thing, increasing the PNL, making companies, CEOs happy to see their fatty, balance sheet. And then when company works better, then every employee, every nearby indirect or direct persons are getting more and more rewards at that time. So, welcome, and all my viewers all over the world. I will say you just go through the details in description of Mr. Uma, and you can connect with him anytime for any services in this platform. Wonderful. So now the main purpose of this, I am not going into the details of Mr. Uma, what he has told about his profile, but I will be discussing a little bit intercultural points. What is the difference between India? I will tell, and for Singapore, he will tell, although he understands both because we both are from incredible India. So, love you, and let us start our formal talk. Welcome again on this episode, dear Uma. So, my first question is regarding communication style. How do people in Singapore and India differ in the way they communicate? Tone, politeness, directness in anything. Please.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of working both in India and in Singapore, right, for quite a number of years. So, um having grown up in India and seen the work culture there, I think in India it's more of formal kind of tone and communication and whatnot, but also an underlying relationship building that happens, right, as people get along with each other. It takes time, it takes nurturing and whatnot. So it becomes informal over a period of time, let's put it that way, right? From being formal to informal. So it takes time for them to really get to know each other.
Right.
Whereas if you think about it from a Singapore standpoint, I've been here for the last 20 years in
Oh,
Singapore, plus minus, right? Because I went to US and then came back. What I've noticed in Singapore is some of the friends that I made early part of my stay here in Singapore, they still address me as Mr. Uma, right? Because there's, there is a lot of there's a sense of politeness, there's a sense of formality, if you have to put it that way, in terms of how you approach somebody who is different, somebody who has held a position. So there is kind of, a little bit of structure and formality in how people communicate. Right? And it also comes with the fact that I feel that it's because, there is a bit of hierarchy in the system. And it's also because of the fact that all the people, all the males who are born in Singapore, Singapore citizens, they have to go for a formal military training at the age of 18, right? So that sense of hierarchy and that sense of top-down kind of formal structure and the way you communicate is also very reflective in the Singapore culture. That's what I think, right? So there is definitely cordial relations, not to kind of, misunderstand what I'm trying to say. But at the same time, there is a sense of politeness and formality in the tone and the communication styles that people have here in Singapore.
And in India, we have all the varieties. Like
You have a
suppose they
broad
are,
spectrum, I would
yes,
say, yeah.
they are having all, like in Haryana, they are little bit Lut type and means strong and straightforward in their.
India is a subcontinent by itself, right? You go up north, within north, you have so many various people, communicating in different forms. If you go down south, it's more refined and I would say more formal, I would say, compared to what it is in the north. Again, not to kind of, take sides with anything, but that's a macrocosm by itself, India.
Yes, wonderful. So my next question comes regarding the difference you observe in work culture and time management. What are the differences you observe in discipline, punctuality, meeting etiquettes between Singapore and India? And I was seeing today your dot at 8:11 a.m. I was 1 minute later. I was just judging how much Singapore is doing. You have given the first example. All the best. Please.
Yeah, so I think I've become more like that compared to what I was in India when I came to Singapore, right? So one of the things about Singapore is that people are very punctual, people are very disciplined. Um, they have that built into them, when it comes to time management, when it comes to having a very structured way of looking at things, and so on and so forth. And having been the general manager of a company which manages almost close to 500 people in a company like Flex, I've seen, situations where I kind of tell something and it gets done, right? I don't have to follow up many times, right? So there is little micromanagement that is involved because you as a leader, you set the direction and things get done, right? Because that's the commitment that people have. And again, it boils down to the fact that people have gone into the military service and they have kind of experienced firsthand what discipline is, what it is to live a life which is filled with a sense of pride and, you know, having that structure in whatever they do. So I think that makes a huge difference in how they view things, even after the military service of 2 years that happened at the age of 18 and 19. They come back as full grown adults who follow a particular structure and particular rhythm in whatever they do. So, in a nutshell, to put the long story short, I think it's more of a very punctual kind of culture. Uh, you say something, you set the direction, things get done, most part, and very dependable society.
Right.
Again, when you talk about India, various flavors, again, because, different places have different kinds of flavors. Again, not to take sides of any particular region or any particular society within India, but I think, you would have a mixed bag, right? Some people are very disciplined, some people are. So you have a hybrid, right, over there. Um, so that's essentially what the overall spectrum is of how people behave in India versus how people in Singapore are, right? Again, it's not fair to actually compare India and Singapore because you're talking about 1.3, 1.4 billion people in India, and
Right.
you're talking about close to around 5.56 billion people in Singapore, right? So it's a very tiny dot in the global map. So It's easier for a country like Singapore to do certain things because it's a small society, uh, from a size perspective, but lofty goals in terms of what they want to achieve in the world.
Very good, very good. Actually, mindset of punctuality, discipline, it paves the way for the greater heights in our life. India is also doing great. I am using Pomodoro
Oh,
technique
okay.
for last 10 years in my office time. Now,
Nice.
I also, when I study some books and doing some work, I am allotting my time. When I am meeting with my clients, I am also fixing that time. And I have seen this punctuality in all foreign countries also. It is really wonderful because time is money, Uma. If we are maintaining it, this is wonderful. So now coming on to the next point, festivals, shared cultural respect. As in India, you see every month there are many festivals. So, what about your cultural heritage in Singapore as you are there for last 20 years? Please.
Yeah, it's a multiracial society that we have in Singapore, and the government takes a lot of effort to maintain um, harmony amongst various races and religions and faiths, right? Because you can't call it as a singular society, right? Which is it's a pluralistic society. They You could see very often that the Chinese ministers or the prime minister himself dressed in kurta and going into a Diwali festival during Diwali, right? They call it as Diwali here. In northern India, they call it as Diwali, and south of India, they call it as Diwali. So here it is called as Diwali. I think it's because of a lot of South Indians who have migrated long time back to Singapore.
Right.
So essentially, you see that kind of facial. I mean, similarly, you have a Muslim festival, you see ministers dressed up, even though they belong to a Catholic society or Catholic faith, they dress up in typical Muslim etiquette and then they go and participate in all the celebrations and associated with that particular faith during that time. So the government does a lot to kind of promote the multicultural, multiracial, multi-religious, and there are close to around 30 temples or 35 temples, Hindu temples in India, right? And lots of festivals, and there is no shortage. I mean, 3 stops from my house, we have a very famous Balaji temple, right?
Oh,
Uh, eh, so, and just a walkable distance, we have another Shiva temple. So you have a Buddhist monastery, you have a mosque, have a Jewish place, things like that. So definitely there are lots of avenues for people to practice their own faith, and government ensures that there is very good harmony amongst faiths. And there is also commingling of races, right? So they come together for religious discussions and whatnot between the various faiths. They kind of facilitate these kinds of uh, discussions. So
wonderful.
that's the society that Singapore is. Small place, so you're able to get it done very effectively and efficiently.
Wonderful. This means, like we are enjoying festivals in India, so you are also feeling that you are also enjoying in the same way Indian culture over there.
Absolutely. No
Wonderful.
shortage of.
Wonderful. So now tell me, Uma, how is the social behavior, public conduct, and when people are stuck up, especially youth, are stuck up in their life somewhere due to some addictions and some habits. So how they deal with it, how they get consultants like you and me in their life, and how is their social behavior overall of the people.
Generally speaking, again, going back to the earlier point I made, people are very disciplined, right? Uh, there is no addiction from a drug perspective because penalty for drug usage or drug dealing is death here and things
Mhm.
non-negotiable. There is very strict penalties for those things.
Okay, wonderful.
And
And yes. And next point, like I always advise to my people, friends, and I've done this for so many years when I was 44 years in textile industry, always become a lifelong learner.
yep.
So learning and growth perspectives, how you feel there in India? versus Singapore?
India every day is a learning, right? So you don't need you learn it with the hard knocks that you actually face every day, right?
Right,
Whether you get out of the house and enter into a road which is filled with traffic, right? And all kinds of challenges you have when you go to all this. So it's learning every step of the way. When you talk about skills development, definitely India's blossoming into a great place for people to change careers and to do their own startups, right? People like you and me who have seen a big part of that. I'm not equating myself with you, you're much more senior than me. But you have a lot of opportunities that are coming up in India. I was really amazed to see some of the things that when I went to India recently to see that youngsters are really moving forward.
right, right. And people, you just see, like I am coach, you are consultant. Similarly, I am seeing flood of coaches. This means everywhere, like saints and sages are there, spiritual gurus are there. Similarly, they are holding one end, and another end, these coaches are trying
Yeah,
to motivate the people. So, overall, there is growth in this Indian fraternity. Those who want to learn, they will learn. I tell you one very simple story, small story. When I'm going into the morning walk or cycling, I am doing cycling around 10 kilometers when I go, not regular, at least 5 days in a week. Similarly, I walk around 6 days in a week, around 10,000 steps. So during my path, whenever I feel that people are doing smoking, chewing tobacco, I just catch hold of them. I educate them, and it gives me immense pleasure that they are accepting it. And now we have started sharing contacts. I am sending twice, one time audio message, one time video message, and they are responding their experiences. What I'm telling, you will be getting your better health. You will be getting addiction free life. You will be moving towards your medication free life. You will be having wonderful relationship. And then you will be doing meditation. When all these things you are doing, you will be a champion.
yeah,
Regarding champion, I tell you that day before yesterday we have become world's women's cricket champion also. This culture is changing. Like in 83, it changed for men's. Now it will start changing in this. In every sports, India is progressing well. That is the way. So tell me one more question, small question. That if suppose one wants to come to India as compared to Singapore, how much time on fast forward basis it will take that within 3 4 days we can cover entire Singapore from viewpoints from traveling purpose. Like India takes 1 month if you
no,
have to
it
know of
takes a
how.
lifetime, right?
But what
Because
about
there's so many things.
but what about
Time
your
of
no,
Singapore. I mean, if you just want to come as a tourist to look at or see some places which are of interest, right? It doesn't take more than 3 to 4 days.
wonderful.
Main places. But if you want to really understand the culture and be a learner of how Singapore is doing very good things at what it does, um, then you need to stay here for a couple of years to really understand the ethos and the culture and the history and take that as a kind of a learning in life and then go back to wherever you come from to see whether that's something that could be implemented in those places, right? So if you think about it, it's like a blueprint or it gives you the blueprint of how society should function. So this is a question which keeps coming to my mind regularly. Why can't people take a leaf out of Singapore's book? I mean, Chandrababu Naidu in Andhra had done similar thing, right? In his previous tenure. He tried to do that, and now he's reviving Amravati, right, with the help of Singapore. So we need more of these kinds of uh, visionary leaders in India to be able to come, bring their, bureaucrats to see what's that secret sauce that makes Singapore tick, and take some of those ingredients and take it back to India and contextualize to Indian uh, society. Take a small city or a town and transform it completely. and then create model towns, model villages, model cities out of that, and then see how you can scale it throughout India, like, over a period of. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's something which could be a baby step towards transforming the entire country one day.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now some short questions, funny questions, rapid fire questions. What is one book you like most, which has changed your lifestyle?
I think Zero to One, the good book.
Wonderful. You give me the link so that I can paste it on to the description. Second point is regarding health. You are early riser or late riser?
Early riser, I would
Great.
say 6 o'clock.
Oh, wonderful. I'm also waking around 5 o'clock. And then next, best movie, motivational movie you have seen till date.
I would say Bahubali.
Oh, really great. I loved it. And the best two places in your country means now your country, Singapore and India.
Singapore is a place. I mean, it's like different towns within Singapore.
Yes, two means worth seeing places as a two.
Oh, okay. I think one is the Marina Bay Sands, which is a beautiful place in Singapore, um, and then the Botanical Gardens, which is basically one of the archaeological places to visit. Not
What-
archaeological, but World Heritage sites to visit.
And in India, what you liked most? Mother
Taj
two
Mahal,
places only.
Taj Mahal,
Aha.
and I would say the other one is a place in South India called as heard of Trichy, Srirangam.
Okay, okay. Yes. If we just see, Uma, if we enlist these things, it looks that our knowledge and so many things we can give to the masses. And it is totally, just free service. Like we have talked, and a lot of people will be coming to India and to Singapore with our these talks. So I welcome you again on this channel. Next time I will be discussing about your consultancy, what is your main job profile, so that more people take the benefit. And thanks so much that you have taken your valuable time. Thank you very much. Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr.
Wonderful. So, my dear friends, I have come from Chandigarh just to meet you all.
Thank you.
My lecture is over. So, now what I want to tell, I am Unicorn CEO